Before we get into the video, could everyone please subscribe to my Endless Diary Tales channel? Thank you so much. Marriage partner goes blind. I walk around the house every day wearing light clothes, sometimes even without clothes. The man sits on the sofa calmly and silently, but his ears always turn red, sometimes even bleeding inexplicably. Until one day I heard his inner thoughts. Should I tell my wife that my eyes are actually fine? But my wife's waist looks really soft. I wonder what it feels like to hug her. My wife has long legs. I wonder how they feel resting on my shoulders. Stop. Stop. I step forward and cover his mouth. Just got back from the nightclub, exhausted in body and mind. My dad sits on the sofa, arms crossed, smiling. I have good news for you. What? The company has gone bankrupt. Dad, are you crazy with grief? What are you thinking? I'm saying that every cloud has a silver lining. What silver lining? I have a bad feeling. Vincent's family is preparing to marry us. The one family has only one son, Vincent, but he was recently blinded in a car accident. I have to marry a blind man? No way. I haven't had enough fun yet. So you're selling your daughter? I feel like I'm facing a great enemy. Dad, actually I have mixed feelings. I like to cheat. If I go to the one family, I might get my legs broken. And Vincent is a blind man. How can I call him my future husband? My dad got angry. 3 days later, I was tied up and thrown into the wedding car. At the wedding, the host asked, "Mr. Vincent, do you want to marry Miss Jenny?" The man in front of me had deep, cold eyes, looking sophisticated in a black suit that made him look like a movie star from a poster. "I do." He spoke, his voice cold. The blind jerk. Ice cold. "You won't get me. Being handsome doesn't pay the bills, you know?" The host turned to me. "Miss Jenny, do you want to marry Mr. Vincent as your husband?" I immediately shouted, "I don't want to. I don't want to." The bodyguards behind me quickly covered my mouth. The host still maintained a polite smile. "All right, it seems like you two are a match made in heaven." In the middle of the night, still tied up and thrown onto the marriage bed, I cursed my dad till I was out of breath, feeling drowsy. In a daze, someone walked in through the door. The sound of polished dress shoes treading on the wooden floor tapped against my eardrums. I instantly woke up shouting, "Help! Forced marriage! Help! Jenny!" The man brushed his cuffs methodically. His voice was like the rain on a winter night, sending shivers down my spine. "What are you going to do?" I stared at him, watching as he approached. Wasn't he blind? How was he walking so steadily without a cane? "Vincent, please let me go. I can introduce you to someone else, my best friend. She's beautiful and gentle. Please, I'll beg you on my knees." His face was only 10 centimeters away from mine. A coldness emanated from him. Though his pitch-black eyes saw nothing, they were full of coercion and danger. But we had already held a wedding. He straightened up, reaching out as if to touch my head. I immediately backed away. "It's okay. You can let me go. But your dad's company. I need funding." I was stunned. After going bankrupt, I would go back. The house and cars in our family were probably all sold. The debts I owed would take me a lifetime to repay. Shivers ran down my spine. My face immediately changed. "Oh, I was just kidding. I am actually very willing to marry you after all because you are so rich." I sneered inwardly. "Just get married. I'm just freeloading a husband. Once my dad's company recovers, I can leave, right?" I quickly rationalized. I didn't struggle and smiled at Vincent. "All right then, honey." Vincent stiffened for a moment. "Don't call me that." "Oh, too bad, honey." Suddenly, something came to mind. Since this is a marriage, we need to establish some rules. You can't touch me. I sleep on the bed, you sleep on the couch. There's a guest room at home. Vincent reluctantly rubbed his forehead. "Fine, you sleep in the guest room." The next morning, I found out that Vincent had already gone to work. How could he work if he couldn't see? Just as I was thinking, I felt hot all over. The air conditioner temperature showed it was already 39 degrees Celsius. I searched everywhere for the remote. Where is the remote? "Hey Siri, turn on the air conditioning." No response. I got angry. Losing my mind, I stripped off all my clothes and lay down on the sofa. I fell asleep like that. Suddenly, the front door opened. I heard familiar footsteps approaching. I woke up abruptly. "Wait, don't turn on the light. I'm not dressed." I was only in my underwear. But it was too late. The light switched on. Vincent stood at the doorway, his gaze unfocused. I had forgotten he couldn't see. I felt relieved and continued lying down on the sofa. You're back. Come on, make some food.
I'm starving.
You haven't eaten all day. Vincent seemed somewhat uncomfortable for some reason, his gaze avoiding mine. How can he be shy if he can't see? I decided to tease him and walked up to him with bare feet, almost sticking to his body. Honey, am I pretty? I took his hand and placed it on my waist. Vincent's pupils contracted. His face turned red. You're pretty. Vincent turned his head away. You can't see anyway, it's boring. I turned around and left. Vincent's puzzled voice came from behind me. Can't see? Who told you I can't see? He paused. Yes, I lost my sight in the accident. Then get it treated quickly. I walked up the stairs ready to take a shower. After the shower, I thought about wearing a bathrobe, but then I remembered there were no cameras in the house and I only had a blind husband, so I decided not to bother. Naked sleep was just too comfortable. I rushed down the stairs and saw Vincent sitting on the sofa. I said, the air conditioning. I can't turn it on. It's too hot. No response. I looked down in confusion and saw Vincent sitting silently on the sofa with red ears and not looking at me. Can't you hear me? I reached out to grab him by the collar. To my surprise, fresh blood started flowing from his nose. Should I tell my wife that my eyes are actually fine? Wait, who's talking? Vincent. What did he just say? No, his mouth didn't. But my wife's waist looks really soft. I wonder what it feels like to hug her. Could I hear Vincent's thoughts? My wife has long legs. I wonder how they feel resting on my shoulders. I stared wide-eyed and jumped up. Stop. I stepped forward and covered his mouth. His eyes lifted slightly, looking at me calmly and still. I didn't say anything. That's right, I know. But strangely enough, how could I hear your thoughts? Also, what are you thinking about? My wife looks cute when her eyes widen. I want to kiss her. I turned around suddenly. The man's indifferent eyes met mine. What's wrong? But I clearly saw him sneak a glance at my lips unintentionally. It was just an arranged marriage. How could a stranger ogle me? I seemed to have forgotten something. Did he just say his blindness had been cured? I raised my hand and waved it in front of Vincent. He did not move, his eyes slightly unfocused. Good thing I'm smart. Otherwise, if my wife found out, I wouldn't get to see her sexy figure anymore. I packed up a bunch of things and threw them into my luggage casually, opening the door ready to leave. But I was stopped by a hug. Are you okay? I was supported gently by a very caring voice. If I hadn't heard his inner thoughts, I would have believed it. He's touching my waist. I stepped back in fear. The man came closer. Ginny, where are you going? Where are you going? You walk straighter than a zebra crossing. I watched him grope his way closer. My back was against the corner of the table. I shouted, stay away. The scene in front of me felt like trapped prey. The hunter meticulously sharpened his knife, stepping closer step by step. My heart felt like it was on the edge of a cliff. I swallowed hard. My best friend just had a breakup. I need to go to her house and comfort her. Vincent tilted his head, seemingly pondering. But I remember your best friend is vacationing in Florence these 2 days. I shrank my neck, eyes darting around. Oh, her grandfather graduated. Oh no, it's her dad who's pregnant. I'm going to help out. Ginny. The man was already standing in front of me, looking down at me. Why call me? I didn't dare look into his eyes, afraid he would throw me onto the bed. Don't lie to me. How could I, husband? I patted his shoulder, which was too close. There really is something. I'll be out for a couple of days. Fine, Vincent agreed. I widened my eyes, immediately dragged my suitcase and scrambled out of the door. Dad, open the door. What a joke. My dad changed the passcode to the main gate. Even my own home is a no-go zone. My friend's phone isn't connecting. Not to mention any aunts or uncles. One by one, they looked down on me. They immediately blocked us when they heard about the company's bankruptcy. There was no hope left. I dragged my suitcase and sat on the curb, not caring about my image. I searched for a while. Oh no, I forgot my phone. Looks like I'm really going to be a wanderer this time. Can't go back to Vincent's house. That's a wolf's den. Sooner or later, Vincent will devour me alive. Reserve my chastity for my future boyfriends. A little dog wagged its tail, carrying a plastic bag with bread in it, happily passing by me. Maybe it was a donation from a kind soul. I shouted out loud. Stop! The little dog turned its head and blinked its watery eyes at me, as if asking what was the matter. Seeing the look in its eyes, I suddenly felt guilty. 10 seconds later, I was eating half a bread, and the dog was eating the other half in my arms. I felt frustrated. Now I could only compete with the dog for food. Vincent, it's all because of you. My dad doesn't want me anymore. Tears were welling up in my eyes. The dog licked me as if trying to comfort me. Get lost. Go away. I pushed it away, but the scruffy little dog wriggled back into my arms. A fallen rich girl wandering the streets. It was impossible to find work. I would rather be arrested and sent to prison. At least there would be food there. People's words would be more pleasant to hear. Starving all day, I finally gave in. I found a job as a waitress in a bar, with the little dog following me around cheerfully. Did you hear? Vincent's newly wedded wife ran away. I know. Vincent's face was as dark as the bottom of a shoe. Vincent is so good, why would she run away? Couldn't bear it, young girl. Who knows? But judging by Vincent's expression, I bet if they catch her, she'll be tied up at home. I shivered all over. Just then, a familiar figure entered the bar, holding a phone and asking, Have you seen this girl? Vincent's people. I immediately stopped serving the drinks and tried to run, but the person at the booth behind me persisted. Where's our drinks, waiter? You, the skinny one who looks like a praying mantis. My arm was grabbed. Where's our drinks? Why do you look so familiar? I was anxious to escape. As I tried to run, I kicked out with my foot and then turned and ran. Ginny! I recognize her. Quick, catch her. Vincent will reward us handsomely. Vincent, you scoundrel. I ran to the narrow stairway, shouting as I went. It's all because of you. I feel like I'm a wanted criminal now. The ill-fitting work uniform hindered my footsteps. I tore off the tight skirt in a swift motion and ran down the stairs. But as soon as I turned a corner, a hand reached out and firmly covered my mouth. Simultaneously, I was pulled by someone. Caught you! A low, hoarse voice resounded in the empty, dark stairwell. The sound was chilling. I found myself being tightly embraced by a tall, warm body, as if being embedded deep into my bones. Vincent! I tried to shout, but my chin was held up and I was told, Be good. It'll hurt if you struggle. The next moment he kissed me fiercely, biting my lip as he did so. I was kissed into weakness, unable to catch my breath. My hands, which had been resisting, gradually fell, giving the appearance of compliance. Time seemed to stand still in the stairwell, with only the sound of our rapid heartbeats and the ambiguous sounds of sucking and rustling of clothing filling the air. This was punishment. The man finally stopped, and with our noses, it's almost touching. I breathed heavily. Tears welled up in my eyes as I raised my head. It's all your fault my dad doesn't want me anymore. Vincent lifted a hand to wipe the corner of my mouth. Well, blame me. It's all right. I have you now. Upon hearing this, I instantly snapped out of my daze. Why did you kiss me? I struggled to break free and moved backward. Your eyes were never really injured. You lied to me. Oh, you found out? Vincent glanced at me unfazed. You pervert. My underwear was exposed by you. So what? Vincent rose to his feet, his tall figure looming over me. We are married after all. But I don't like you. It doesn't matter. You'll eventually come to like me. Vincent walked up to me, squatting down and holding my chin, looking down at me with his dark eyes like a deep lake. Vincent loosened his tie from around his chest and wound it around my wrists. Then he picked me up. We're going home. Wait. Can I sit next to the driver? I politely spoke up. Because even in the car, I was still held in Vincent's embrace. His scent enveloped my whole being. Who could withstand it? No, you can't. Vincent lowered his head and ran his fingers through my hair. His lips began to descend as if to kiss me again. I immediately turned my head. I sell my skills, not my body. Give it up. Too bad. Vincent's tone was melancholy, but he didn't try to kiss me again. I tried to listen for any signs of his thoughts. How come I couldn't hear his heartbeat anymore? What was this man thinking? Lost in my thoughts, we arrived home. I was still being carried princess style by Vincent into the house. Don't run around like that in the future. Vincent paused. Your father. Don't mention him to me. I grew angrier the more I thought about it. Am I even his real daughter anymore? Ever since my mom passed away, he's been unbearable. He even sold me to you. The more I thought about it, the more wronged I felt. I sobbed. And I still have to compete with a dog for food. Vincent fell silent for a moment, seeming to have something to say, but he didn't speak. He just pulled me into a hug. It's okay. From now on, you can try to rely on me. Rely on you? I might as well rely on my little dog. At least the dog isn't as twisted as you. I thought to myself. Seemed like there was no escaping now. Working as a waitress in a bar, roaming the streets, I might as well stay at his house. Honestly, at least there would be food and drink. I had made up my mind. If he wanted to hug me, let him hug me. If he wanted to kiss me, let him kiss me. Being held by him was actually quite comfortable. Before long, I fell asleep. I must admit he was quite skilled in kissing. As we kissed, he sat in a chair, casually pulling me onto his lap, and I hooked my arms around his neck. At night, as I drifted off to sleep, I suddenly felt hot. I woke up and realized that the air conditioning in the master bedroom was broken. Then I'll just sleep on the floor. It'll be cooler. 10 seconds later, my back ached and I sat up, unable to bear it. I pushed open the door to the guest bedroom and was met with,
Ah, confortable.
Jenny, the man in the bed, woke up, fumbling to turn on the bedside lamp. What's wrong? Today I checked feng shui with my phone, and it said the master bedroom's feng shui is bad. Let's switch rooms. You go to the master bedroom. Before I could oppose, I pushed Vincent out of the room and locked the door. Air conditioning, here I come. But before I could celebrate for 2 seconds, the locked door suddenly shook. I heard the sound of a key being inserted and turned. Before I could react, the door swung open. A figure walked over to the bed. Jenny. I buried my head in the blanket, pretending to be half asleep.
I'm tired.
Stop fooling around. Go back to sleep. The next moment, the bed sank slowly. I was embraced along with the blanket. Roll over. I struggled hard. How could I sleep with a man? This was my bottom line. Wait a minute. This is actually quite comfortable. I lifted my legs and rested them on the man's waist, snuggling in his embrace like a doll. Felt incredibly secure. It had been years since I felt such a comforting hug after my mom left when I was 5. All right, let's just hug for one night. I mumbled a couple of words and fell asleep soundly, unaware of the smug smile on the man's face in the darkness. I slept until 7 o'clock. Vincent was no longer there. I went out to walk the dog, play with the cat, and joined the old man in practicing Tai Chi. Girl, don't learn this from me.
I'm afraid.
I was stretching stiffly, kicking over a railing and then propped it back up. When I looked up, I suddenly saw a familiar figure. Tall and slender, dressed in a black windbreaker. He was smiling warmly and charmingly, chatting with an old lady by the roadside. But when he turned and saw me, his smile disappeared. My heart raced. My feet moved unconsciously to follow.
Alan.
The man reluctantly stopped, glancing coldly at me. What is it? I clutched my clothes tightly. How have you been recently? Thanks to you, not bad. Alan furrowed his brows, taking a step back. We haven't seen each other in a long time. Can we have a meal together? I mustered up the courage to look at him. Alan was the guy I had a crush on for 4 years. Unfortunately, he also liked someone else. After the college entrance exam, he asked me to deliver a love letter to that girl. The next day, when I tried to explain, the girl had already gone abroad. Alan heard somehow that I had a crush on him, so he destroyed the love letter. If it weren't for you, Wendy would have stayed. I bit my nails and kept apologizing. I'm sorry, but I really didn't tear up that love letter. Enough. Alan cut me off. We shouldn't see each other again in the future. I'm sorry. I was so stupid that all I could say was this, but it didn't prove my innocence. Are you still holding a grudge against me? Seeing that Alan didn't immediately agree to my dinner invitation, I started to panic. But that love letter. However, Alan interrupted me coldly, approaching to grab his hand. Alan, let go. He shook off my hand as if in disgust. I fell to the ground and the man just paused for a moment, looking back coldly. He left without a word. I sat on the ground for a long time until a figure stood in front of me. "Are you hurt?" The man's frosty brows suddenly furrowed as he squatted down to lift me up and took me home. It wasn't until I was laid on the bed that I realized. "Vincent, why aren't you at work?" The man in front of me lowered his head, gently blowing on my wound. "I forgot my documents." Then he raised my foot onto his knee with his left hand and applied iodine with his right hand to disinfect it. "If it hurts, you can scream. Why didn't you ask the secretary to come back and get them?" Vincent didn't reply. He just focused on cleaning my wounds carefully. His movements were gentle in an unbelievable way. Looking at the seriousness in his eyes, my heart suddenly felt strangely bitter. "I didn't destroy that love letter, Vincent, do you believe me?" The man paused for a moment. "I believe you. Vincent and I were high school classmates for a year. It was during the time when I pursued Alan aggressively. One time I fell into the water. Someone saved me and left. When I woke up, I searched everywhere to find out who saved me. An old lady said she knew. It seemed like it was Alan. When I saw him again in school, I was deeply attracted by Alan's gentle and clean smile. Every morning I would bring him breakfast, secretly give him drinks, and write his name, Alan, on them. Every time there was a different sweetness in my heart. But I would always be taken away by his brother. Look at Jenny, what an ugly name. But Alan seemed to only see me as a friend. It was only until that love letter that we couldn't even remain friends after that. I lowered my head in disappointment and wiped away tears that weren't there. Vincent sighed and then hugged me, saying, "Jenny, what should I do with you?" Suddenly my best friend called me frantically. "Jenny, do you know your dad is in the hospital?" My phone fell to the ground. My mind went blank. Vincent finally told me the truth. My dad had late-stage stomach cancer. He didn't have much time left. With only a pampered daughter like me left, my dad entrusted me to Vincent, who he trusted more. The company didn't go bankrupt, and now it's temporarily under Vincent's management. It's like my dowry. When Vincent told me all of this, I was silent until I entered the hospital room. I saw my dad's surprised and helpless expression.
You walked over, smiling.
"Dad, not eating properly led to you falling ill, right?" I found myself unable to sleep. At night I lay awake staring into the darkness. Vincent would hold me, kiss away my tears and say, "Don't cry, I'm here for you. Let those tears out, my father deserves it." He never found the right class to attend my parent-teacher meetings, showing up in the wrong grade when I was in the 11th grade. Once, after finally finding the correct grade, he went to the wrong school. If my mom were still around, she would definitely give him a scolding. On the day of my college entrance exam, he kept urging me to finish quickly, saying parking fees were expensive. Even if I didn't pass, he would hand over the company to me. Vincent hugged me tighter. "Jenny, every time I woke up from a nightmare, Vincent was always there saying, 'Jenny, I'm here.' He would pour me a cup of hot water, watch me drink it down, and then gently wipe the water droplets from my lips. 'Go to sleep,' he hugged me again. In the darkness of the night, I watched Vincent sleeping peacefully with furrowed brows and a tired face from the constant running between the company and the hospital. I began to question if my presence was right or wrong. "Dad, how are you and Vincent getting along?" My dad leaned against the head of the bed, eating the apple one peeled for him, looking all curious. "It's all right, I guess," I replied. "You two better hurry up and give me a grandchild, got it?" My dad started handing me the peeled oranges. "How is that even possible?" I exclaimed. "I'm so beautiful, born with good looks, a good personality, with suitors circling the globe twice a year to chase me." I stood up dramatically. "You have no idea. Vincent is so clingy, always afraid I might get kidnapped. He's always around hugging and kissing me. Oh, it's really annoying not knowing when to stop. What a worry." As soon as I finished, I noticed my dad looking entertained. Sensing trouble ahead, I turned around, and there stood Vincent behind me, arms crossed, calmly watching me. Clingy? Always hugging and kissing me? Not knowing when to stop. I awkwardly chuckled. I'm just messing with my dad. When I got back home that night, he held me down on the bed, kissing me as I laughingly protested. I was just joking. Vincent let go. As my dad's health gradually improved, he mentioned that if I genuinely didn't like Vincent, he could find someone else for me. I hesitated before replying, "Let's discuss it later." While picking up medicine, I ran into Alan. "Are you okay? Are you sick?" I hurriedly approached him, wanting to hold his arm, but he pulled away. "Ginny, I don't want to say this a second time. My matters are none of your concern. Stop coming to find me." As Alan spoke and turned to leave, a hand pulled me back. "Ginny, stay here." Vincent strode up to us. Opening his phone, he played a video in front of Alan. It was a class monitor surveillance video that Vincent asked the teacher to find, showing that Alan's good friend had secretly rummaged through Ginny's bag, torn up the love letter, leading to misunderstandings. Then Vincent reached out and put his arm around me. "Ginny and I are already married. Ginny came here to clarify the misunderstanding. If you don't believe it, then you're just a fool who's easily misled by others." Alan's whole body trembled. I believe he finally saw the truth that had been delayed by almost 10 years. "Ginny," Alan stammered apologetically. "I'm sorry." His late apology suddenly felt so tiring. "Let's still be friends." This time Alan tried to reach out to me, but Vincent pushed him away, saying, "I told you we're already married. She's my wife now." With a bowed head, he added, "Let's go." I stared at Vincent in disbelief, my heart beating uncontrollably. When I got back home, the realization hit me, and I turned to thank Vincent. "Thank you." "No need." Vincent glanced at me, then unexpectedly pulled me close, lowering his head to kiss me, saying, "Consider it a gesture of appreciation." I felt a sudden sting, pushing him away. "I'll go back to my room first." "Oh no, I think I've fallen for Vincent." I texted my best friend excitedly, sharing, "Sometimes he's so handsome and authoritative." Suddenly, I saw a message pop up in a group chat with my name mentioned. My heart skipped a beat as I clicked on it. Wasn't Jenny the one who fell into the water before? Yeah, she said Alan saved her. But my grandma turned out mistaken. She saw Vincent at the hospital today and mentioned this guy who saved a girl who fell in the water. My mind became clear. Yet a deep sense of absurdity and collapse filled me. I had liked Alan for 4 years, thinking it was him all along. It had been a misunderstanding. It was always Vincent. How intertwined our destinies were from an early stage. A wave of clarity swept over me, realizing that everything had been wrong. I had pursued the wrong person. In reality, it was Vincent who had been there all along. Could I now really start liking Vincent again? Absently holding a stuffed toy, Vincent walked out of the bathroom just after his shower, shirtless. I stole glances at him, feeling awkward. "If you want to look, just look openly." Vincent dried himself with a towel casually and threw it into the laundry basket, teasing, "Why peek when I'm right here?" I turned away without saying a word. Vincent climbed into bed and moved closer. "Are you mad?" "No." I suddenly felt restless. "Why are you always so good to me? You're my wife." Vincent hugged me from behind. After a long silence, I turned around and kissed Vincent's cheek. As I tried to leave, the sound of his heavy breathing stopped me as he pulled me into a deeper kiss. "Why are you so forward today?" Without a word, I turned around, straddling him. "Don't speak, just kiss me," I whispered. Vincent was taken aback. "Jenny." The air was thick and hot. I lay in the bathtub, exclaiming, "Vincent, what did you eat to grow this big?" Vincent rubbed my head gently and softly replied, "You, Dad, do you think if I tell Vincent this he'll want to kill me?" Dad chuckled. "How petty, bringing a few fruits to visit your old man. Come on, spill it." Dad continued, "Actually, I was going to set up a marriage for you back then, but halfway through Vincent intervened. He said he had secretly admired you for a long time." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "When?" "It seems like he said he had a crush on you since high school, calling you a little son, lively, bringing positivity to people." It sounded a bit formal, but I could tell he was sincere. He even promised to love you forever, and since I knew his dad, I arranged for you too. My dad ate a banana, blinked, and unintentionally brought about a good relationship for me. But I felt like my heart was a soft and sour fruit with thick juice dripping down. Secretly in love with me since high school. It all started when he transferred here. So when I was pursuing Alan, did he see it all along? How much must his heart have hurt? I rushed back home and waited for Vincent to return, then hugged him tightly. What's wrong? I didn't say anything, just held on to him. After a while I spoke. I'm sorry for running away before and making you search for me for so long. Vincent smiled and patted my head. It's not your fault. And also, I'm sorry for thinking that the person who saved me back then was Alan. Stop, Jenny. Vincent lowered his head and kissed me. Look, we're together now. That's good enough. As for those years, those misunderstandings, I don't think they matter. It's okay as long as you know I love you. Alan chased me to the hospital downstairs to apologize and seek my forgiveness. I'm sorry, it was all my misunderstanding. Can we still be friends? Alan stood in front of me with a bouquet of flowers, dressed similarly to back then in a simple white shirt, smiling as brightly as before. Now I just feel nauseous. It's too late, Alan. I'm already married. So no. Since back then you chose to cover your ears and not listen to explanations. Now that the truth is out, what's the point of uncovering your ears again? Ginny, your marriage to him is just an alliance. You can't possibly like him. You liked me for so many years before, right? I've changed my mind now. As long as you agree, I'll divorce you from Vincent immediately and marry you. Who says I don't like Vincent? He's rich and kind. Sorry, you should go now. As I turned around, I saw Vincent leaning on the car door nearby. I didn't know how long he'd been listening. Our eyes met and I quickly looked away. What did you just say? Rich and kind? What was that? My face instantly turned red. I cleared my throat. Nothing, you misheard. Let's talk about it at home. My dad's condition stabilized. In the second month, I brought him a report. A man nearing 60, I saw him shed tears for the first time. He didn't cry when he found out he had cancer or during chemotherapy. But seeing me pregnant, he cried. I want to pick a name for him. Let's call him Winnie. I remember Jenny must have been a name he picked. It sounds like a name that makes you not afraid even in winter. Vincent held me and said, Ginny, let's name him Honey. In high school, after Vincent finished playing basketball, he wiped the sweat off with his shirt. Suddenly, he saw Ginny smiling as she handed a bottle of water to Alan. Vincent suddenly felt thirsty, but he refused all the offered water. He just wanted to be alone. If he wasn't given water, it was fine. Good luck, classmate. Right before the sports day's 1,000-meter race, Ginny handed him back his number tag, waved and cheered him on, encouraging him to do his best. If you're too tired, don't push yourself, take a break. Vincent smiled. Everyone told him to fight for first place and bring glory to the class. Unexpectedly, there was someone considering him as well. All right, Vincent stepped onto the track. He glanced into the distance. The sunlight was just right.